Back here at home, the gathering of crowds continued at Bud Miller Park on Saturday with the 7th annual Walk of Remembrance. Family and friends who'd lost loved ones to suicide were able to honor those lives and hear others share their struggles. Josh Ryan has more.
I hope today's walk brings peace and comfort for those grieving a loss.
Sunday marks World Suicide Prevention Day, which meant the Walking Through Grief Society once again led the annual Walk of Remembrance, hoping to change perceptions of those who have lost loved ones to suicide.
Reducing the stigma and the shame by saying it's okay to come here and to walk with my head held high and to honor that loved one.
This year's guest speaker, Mackenzie Murphy, hails from Airdrie and is a survivor of attempted suicide herself.
Coming and seeing the other side of that is very important, I believe, for people who struggle, and all around getting educated on mental illness, I think, is important for anyone to come and do.
Murphy says it's just as important for those struggling with mental illness to attend events like the walk as well.
Coming to these things really help kind of give you a grasp of the effects of those actions.
Each member had a little memento to remember loved ones in the form of a carnation.
It's just a symbol of something to hold that's alive and gives hope. It's beautiful.
Small things like a carnation or simply listening to someone struggling are what Murphy says get overlooked, especially when talk of killing yourself is disturbingly common.
It's become such a normal thing to say nowadays, which is very, very sad, but always taking it seriously, because you never want to have that moment of someone actually doing it and you feeling like, what could I have done?
And each year, the number of people willing to come forward through the effects of events like this goes up.
So I think, yeah, there's more awareness there. And I know from Walking Through Grief Society, there are more people that are coming now than happened in the past.
Josh Ryan, Newcap News.
Well, the Lloydminster Filipino community celebrated their vibrant culture over the weekend by inviting people of all cultures to experience that famous Filipino hospitality for a third year in a row. It was an evening of song and dance, proudly displaying the colorful Filipino culture to members of the community.
Just to have a fellowship and to, I guess, show our culture and tradition to the Canadians. This is the way we are.
Certainly the Filipino community plays a very active role in our community, and they're very involved in many different facets, and I think it's just a great opportunity to interact.
The Filipino community hopes that by showcasing their culture, it will encourage others to proudly display their diverse background too.
There's so many different nationality in Lloyd now, and I think if we don't start doing this, then we're not inviting other nationalities to do the same. We want to see them putting on their own fiesta.
And of course, it's not a Filipino fiesta without the food. And one dish in particular was a hit with the crowd.
The roast pig, because it was something new and I've never tried it before.
Well, they had a roast hog this year, and that was a real touch. It's great to see the community, the Filipino community, come together and prepare food. The entertainment, the dancing, the work that they put into it is just tremendous, and I just can't say thank you enough for that.
And the community just can't get enough of that Filipino tradition.
Because they like the food and they like the entertainment, they kept coming back.
This is Newcap Sports.
The Lloydminster Bobcats and the Bonnyville Pontiacs renewed acquaintances for a fourth time in under 2 weeks on Saturday, bringing a close to both clubs' exhibition schedules. As Lance Phillips points out, it's a renewing rivalry between the two clubs, one that's favored the Bobcats over the exhibition schedule.
Once again, Bonnyville brought a young lineup to Lloydminster, one absent of its top-level players, and the veteran-laden Bobcats roster took advantage. The Pontiacs opened the scoring late in the first, but Lloydminster responded with 4 unanswered, en route to a 4-1 win. It was Bonnyville's 4th straight loss and 3rd in 4 exhibition meetings between the two. Again, the Pontiacs' defensive unit struggled, with turnovers and poor defensive zone execution, a theme seen throughout the exhibition schedule.
This year with only 8 returning guys, that, you know what, we're going to feel a little bit more than other years, but in our system and in our structure, you know, those young guys are coming in, I can tell that they're very overwhelmed.
I think we had the same thing last year. I think we know what we need to do to fix it for this upcoming season, and I think everything will be in place by the season opener. So
it'll happen as the season goes on, but at the same time we have 2 great coaches up there, and we know they're going to do a great job and whip them into shape here, and I think we're going to be just fine.
This season, the Pontiacs elected to take on more exhibition work in order to evaluate its new players more extensively. And while the grueling schedules helped in that regard, it hasn't allowed the team to practice efficiently.
For a lot of these young guys coming out of midget hockey and minor hockey, they've never seen anything like it. Pretty much 8 games in about 13 days, so quite the schedule, even for our vets. You know, that's like a playoff grind.
Yeah, it's a little tough, a little bit of adversity. You know, guys were tired, but at the same time, we didn't do a whole lot today. We got the chance to rest up and come in here, so I don't think that was too much of a factor for us here tonight.
everyone's kind of exhausted from all the exhibition games, but still, it doesn't, no excuses. It's been very tough. I mean, me and Aston Smith, we've been playing about 5 games in a row now as veterans.
With the season starting less than a week away, concern for the Pontiacs may shift from defense to players sitting in the stands Saturday night. Derek Brown, PJ Morocco, and Brandon Whistle, 3 players who combined for 70 goals a season ago, are all nursing injuries. At least 2 are expected to be back in the lineup when the season starts Friday, and for the Pontiacs, it's a situation that can't rectify itself fast enough. Lance Phillips, New Cap Sports, Lloydminster.